In the cold, fog-laden streets of medieval Europe, the castle of Raven's Hollow stood like a silent sentinel, shrouded in mist and shadow. Its jagged towers pierced the sky, blackened by centuries of fire and smoke, and the villagers whispered tales of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. Each stone seemed to hum with the echoes of suffering. The cries of prisoners, the muffled sobs of those accused, and the eerie laughter of a lord whose cruelty had become legend. No one dared venture near after sunset, for the air itself seemed to carry whispers, promising death to the foolhardy. The castle's history was one of blood and betrayal, where trust was a currency no man could afford, and the night was a predator stalking its prey with patient hunger. It was during the reign of Lord Varrick, a tyrant whose name still curdled the blood of the living, that the most sinister events took place. His obsessions were countless: alchemy, forbidden texts, and rituals to summon forces beyond mortal comprehension. Scholars from distant lands had come to his court, drawn by promises of wealth and patronage, only to vanish without trace, their last cries swallowed by stone corridors that twisted like serpents. Some said the castle itself was alive, feeding on fear, its walls shifting in the dead of night to trap the unwary. Candles flickered in the grand hall, casting grotesque shadows that seemed to dance on their own, and the tapestries depicted scenes so macabre that the bravest knights refused to sleep in the chambers they adorned. Among the unfortunate souls was Alara, a young healer whose knowledge of herbs had earned her a rare invitation to Raven's Hollow. She arrived with hope, unaware of the darkness that seeped into every crevice of the castle. The moment she crossed the threshold, a chill gripped her heart, and the servants' faces, pale and hollow, told tales of resignation and fear. She soon discovered that Lord Varrick's experiments were not merely scholarly pursuits. They were a descent into madness. Nights were filled with strange chants, echoing from the dungeons below, where prisoners were bound to tables, their blood drawn for arcane rituals meant to tether Varrick's soul to eternal power. Alara's courage grew, but so did her dread, for she realized that knowledge and life were equally expendable in Raven's Hollow. The villagers spoke of the Black Feast, an annual night when the Lord demanded tribute in both coin and flesh. Families lived in terror, hiding their children and animals, knowing that refusal meant unimaginable suffering. One storm-laden evening, Alara witnessed the aftermath of such a feast, a banquet hall lined with the broken and the vanished. The walls were slick with darkness, and the air smelled of iron and rot. Lord Varrick, draped in garments stitched from shadows and whispers, presided over the spectacle, his eyes gleaming with perverse delight. Alara's hands shook as she realized that survival required submission, yet her spirit refused to bend entirely to the tyrant's will. She resolved to uncover the secrets hidden in the Lord's grim library, believing that knowledge might be the only weapon against this malevolence. Days turned to weeks as Alara navigated the labyrinthine corridors, discovering hidden chambers and forbidden tomes that spoke of ancient powers, dark pacts, and the cost of immortality. The castle seemed to resist her every step. Doors slammed shut, staircases twisted unexpectedly, and mirrors reflected scenes she had not witnessed. Whispers followed her, sometimes imploring, sometimes mocking, until she began to doubt her own sanity. One fateful night, she descended into the catacombs below Raven's Hollow, where the air was thick with the weight of countless tragedies. Bones lay scattered like remnants of a forgotten plague, and in the deepest chamber, she found the ritual circle where Lord Varrick performed his most horrifying ceremonies, surrounded by candles that burned with black flame. It was there that she understood. The darkness was not only within the Lord, but within the very stones of the castle, and it thirsted for souls to sustain it. Alara devised a plan born of desperation and cunning. She spent nights studying the tomes, learning the intricate sequences that bound the castle's dark energy to its lord. On the eve of the next Black Feast, she gathered what knowledge and courage she had, knowing that failure would mean death, not just for her, but for the innocent who had already suffered. As the storm raged above Raven's Hollow, she enacted the counter-ritual, drawing the very shadows of the castle into a vortex of searing light and fire. The walls groaned as if alive, resisting the exorcism, and Lord Varrick's cries echoed through corridors, twisted by fury and disbelief. Time seemed suspended, the air crackling with power older than any living creature, and for a moment, Elara felt the weight of every soul that had perished within these cursed walls. When the storm finally subsided, the castle lay in ruin, its towers shattered, and the shadows dissipated into the night. Survivors emerged from hiding, blinking in disbelief at the destruction that had consumed Raven's Hollow. Elara, though scarred and weary, stood as witness to the dawn of a world freed from centuries of darkness. Yet the memory of the castle lingered, the whisper of stones, the fleeting shadows, and the knowledge that evil, no matter how defeated, leaves a mark on those who confront it. Raven's Hollow would never rise again, but the history of terror it hosted became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the delicate line between ambition and madness, and the cost of curiosity in the presence of true darkness. Generations later, travelers speak of Raven's Hollow as a place where echoes of the past still linger, where fog clings to broken towers, and where the brave or foolish may hear whispers on stormy nights. Some claim that the castle's spirit watches, neither malevolent nor benign, simply observing the living who dared to trespass. Elara's story became legend, her bravery celebrated in hushed tones, and the tomes she had uncovered were hidden away, sealed in vaults to prevent repetition of the horrors she had witnessed. The world moved on, yet the shadow of Raven's Hollow remained, a testament to the darkness that humanity can conjure, the fragility of courage, and the eternal tension between light and the night that waits, patient and unyielding, in the corners of history. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark and mysterious world of our story, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps support the channel. Share this video with your friends who love history, fantasy, and spine-chilling tales, and make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new adventure. Your support keeps these stories alive, and we have many more dark, thrilling tales coming your way.